Hey everybody, Marty with Options Unleashed. Welcome to another halftime show. Today we're going to talk about managing winners. But first, let's get right into it. This is going to be a short video, hopefully. Take a look at the macro today. The day actually, what a reversal from this morning, right? The SPY is now down. It looks like the banks are, we had big banking earnings today from JP Morgan, Citi. It's not going to be really a show about news, but, we had to talk about the news first. We've had the good big banks out first out of the gate. That's actually, expected, I would say. But, we've had a quick reversal here right away in the SPY. Big jump up this morning. I'll show you what I did. Did some option trades into that move. Kind of, you can call it lucky, I guess, but that's kind of what we're supposed to do. It's hard to place trades in the face of a move like that, but you have to stay with your overall plan. My overall plan in my options account is mostly delta negative, but I try to stay delta neutral. But on the delta negative side, only because I'm also hedging a larger long portfolio. So I have to balance that, right, with, what's going on in the overall picture. We'll talk about some of that. We'll probably do another video, too, on beta weighting and portfolio management. But today, this is more about managing winners. This just show you kind of what I'm going to run through my daily trades today on a Friday expiration. It's not the ideal time to be talking about this because I'm supposed to be out of these trades by now, but I wanted to close some of these trades down with you guys just to show you how we manage winners. Today, we're going to talk about not everything in my portfolio. We're going to do some live trades here in a minute. We're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about the macro picture, but then we'll get into the banks, what I'm looking at for banks, regionals, most importantly, because I know I had a lot of questions on Twitter about regionals and versus XLF. The big banks versus the regionals versus the Schwabs and the Morgan Stanleys and the Goldmans and the JP Morgans. Just show you what I'm doing in the banks. This is not, and actually I have been involved in the banks since the meltdown of Silicon Investor Bank. So this is my second or third time now getting in here, and I'll stay kind of active in the KRE for a while until it either breaks or it gets boring. We'll go into some of the retail trades that I have on, and then some of the software names, Intel, and also SPX that I just placed this morning. Today just had about 13 fills this morning. One of the trades I do want to talk about eventually here is that I did sell into that move up on the SPX. But first, again, let's get back to the macros, the macro trade. What's going on today? We've had a big reversal. Obviously, the SPY is down now $2.43. Even Bitcoin is taking a little plunge here. The Q's even down more, almost 0.72%. It looks like, and I'm just looking at this for the first time, this afternoon with you guys. I don't stare at these numbers all day. But it looks like the GDX, the gold miners, junior miners are down big, probably with the fact that since the banks were up, a lot of the gold and, Bitcoin were down just because they've had such a big run up. I wouldn't expect this to be a big deal here. But there is some concern now about a Fed rate hike. We're probably going to still see a 80% chance of a 25 basis point hike in May. And you're going to get back to that concern. We had the CPI number out this week. It was in line, better than expected. We got this big rally. Everyone is kind of shooting against this 420 number. I have some lines in here, but basically 416 is my kind of first concern in the sand, and then 420 is my second concern, where above these areas I would probably get more bullish in my I'm already obviously long, but more bullish in my options account. Up in here, I'm still shorting into this, shorting premium into these runs. You know, we can still see SPY coming up here and still doing one of these, right? So this is a perfect options environment. Also, let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX today bouncing all around, still, you know, really big time lows down here in the 17. So, you know, we are just lovers right now of selling premium in the option market. So I'm actually a little surprised in this sell-off. You know, the market just screamed higher this morning, and with that, I actually put a trade on SPX. I've been doing that a couple times this year successfully. So basically, selling into strength. I sold the 43.35 call and bought the 43.50 call as protection. That rounded out that vertical spread for. I went out to May. I had shut down previously an April 21 credit spread for a profit. All this stuff is on my Discord. I actually don't have that up and running on this computer right now, but you can join my Discord. Look for me and my Options Unleashed on Twitter, and the Discord is in my profile. And so I post all my trades there, and we talk. Feel free to come in and talk about options trading and what strategies you guys are looking at, so on and so forth. So today, even one day move here, I'm already, you know, profitable on this trade. I'm looking for a $520 profit on the SPX by May expiration. I'm already up, you know, 171 on the trade. You can see where I filled it here. I filled this at $2.60 today. I sold 2 of those, so I'm really happy about this trade. Keep in mind, guys, that we try to take 50% profit. So I could take this off really early next week, or even just sell the other side of it, make it rounded out into an iron condor target that maybe the 3,900 level. How would we do that? We would actually look at the options chain, go out to May where I currently have a position, and I would look at maybe at that 16 delta or maybe that 3,900 level. So the 16 delta right now is around 39.10. That's not a bad level. I'd probably go to like 38.90 if I really wanted to play this, and then round it out with the do a 1 by, what is it, 2 or 3 here to make this a iron condor. I'd probably do one of those, sell 2 of those against that, probably even make the buys even lower to round it out. What is it, 75? So make this even, probably do something like that, and then put a limit order on this, you know, because if the SPY, you know, sells off, or SPX sells off, I would probably put this as a limit order, good till cancel. I know some of you guys, you know, leave me comments that you guys use good till cancel orders or not. I always use limit orders, but sometimes I'll do a good till cancel order to see how, you know, let this thing, if we get a big trade down, you know, it'll fill. But, you know, typically on SPX, I probably don't do that. On others, I do. Also, especially to close a trade, I might do that just because I'm getting out. But getting in, I'd have to probably look at the market and see what's going on. But this $1.70 is not good enough for me in here. I'd probably put a $2.60, same as the other side, and let this come in. That would probably have to be down to that under 4,100 level on the SPX. So anyway, let's look at some of the trades today. One of the things I do want to close out today is one of my biggest winners today is NVDA. I was short premium in NVDA for last week, and I got a couple of trades in here I'll tell you about in a second. But the number one thing I want to close out today, this is why I wanted to do a video quickly on managing winners. I should not have let this get this far. This is expiring next week. It kind of came up and tested my strike up in here at the 275 strike. So I had this on for about 15 days. I let it go too long. So typically you wouldn't let this thing go too long or even too close. I think 2 days ago I was pretty close to having at least 50% profit. I have greater than that now. So, you know, let's go ahead and just close this down. You know, like, this is what you do as traders, you don't think about it. You know, I come in here and choose the mid price, maybe even a little lower today on this ask, and just go ahead and let it ask that price that I wanted right in there and get out of this trade for a more than 50% profit. This morning, I actually, on the pop, I sold the 280 call for May just to keep me back in the trade, because I think NVIDIA, at some point, NVIDIA is going to crack. And I know sometimes I've been burned on this. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really looking for this thing to break this trend line, at least at 258, or even this red trend line in here on an NVIDIA. As Carter Worth mentioned and others, we've got a little bit of a lower high in here. You can definitely see it here. There's a lower high in here. So I'm shooting off of this 280 level. So I went very aggressive on this. I sold the 280 calls for $8 and something in here. Where was it today? Sold the NVIDIA $8.45. And there goes my NVIDIA. I bought it back at $1.65, so it took a nice profit in there today. But $8 and over $8 on this trade, and it's already profitable on the news. You know, not on the news, on the downtick that we've got going on, pretty much across the market here. But I'll take this off above 275, 280. I'll let it get to the strike, and I'll actually take it off. So this is very aggressive. And another thing I like to do is I actually have a game plan every morning. I put in my Discord what my game plan is, and because you can't watch everything all day long, so I'll have a specific set of 2 or 3 things in my playbook that a part of my playbook is what my game plan is today. And one of the things I'm getting better at is the game plan says no ifs, ands, or buts. Like one of my game plan for today was to get out of NVIDIA on the 21st expiration. And I chose to do it with you guys here on the call because the stock is down. And, you know, we've had a nice little bump up, little chop in here, but take advantage of getting out on a Friday while it's down, because this thing can come roaring back, and we've all seen it. That gamma can kill you. Why let that ruin your Friday? Just take it off, and we've got a nice little NVIDIA $464 on the day for NVIDIA. So let's get into some of the other stuff. I've got another one, managing a winner, is on my micro strategy. This, if you didn't see my video, take a look at a video I did on how I trade Bitcoin options with MicroStrategy. Been very successful this year with it. You know, got a $2,000 year-to-date profit in trading Bitcoin through MicroStrategy. And today I've got expiring again. Shouldn't have waited this long. I know Tony Batista would yell at me for waiting this long, Tom and Tony. And if you guys aren't following Tasty Trade, please head over to Tasty Trade and give Tom and Tony a holler and follow those guys, because they're amazing to trade with. So basically I've got this thing pushing my shorter strike here today. So let's do another managing a winner. I'm going to not roll up this call because it's expired today, but let's just take this off. We're going to close this down for 16 cents at the bid, and we're going to hit the bid and let that fill. That filled, and now I've got this little deal here where this guy I've got to let kind of expire for the rest of the day. I could take a shot today at managing this 0 DTE in MicroStrategy. It does have usually a lot of it does typically have a lot of volatility. But the IV rank right now is 5. You can see the IV rank. Let's look at the daily. You can see that MicroStrategy is very low in here. This is my implied volatility chart. This is your IV rank. You can find this on Thinkorswim or your Tasty Trade platform. You know, so the IV rank and IV percent is low right now. So I'm not going to get a lot of juice out of this trade, but even by the end of the day, if I think this thing won't go above, you know, I might take a look at where on the chart here where I think there's it can come back into maybe the the VWAP here. I could probably get into the daily VWAP at 3. Is it the daily? I think it's the daily VWAP at 339. I don't know if this is even worth a shot at it. I could probably sell the 101s against this. Sell the 101s against this. I've got 2 of them, and that would actually round out my day. And so let's just do that. Let's see if we can get something out of this deal. Actually, that's too much buying power for me. I can't do that trade today with everything else going on. So I'm going to leave this here for now. We're still short right here. We're losing money on this trade, but MicroStrategy can bounce today, and I can still get that. Got to get that premium back. And after the video, I'll probably somehow try to manage this for the rest of the day. But not worried about it. Let's take a look at what else. The banks. All right, so banks, guys. My biggest position right now is the KRE. I've got a nice little J lizard going on that I've had on for about, I want to say like 14 to 20 days. I can't remember when I put it on. This is my second time around on the KRE. Both times were profitable. So either what I do is if the stock right now, right in the middle of the trade, is about 50% profit, almost probability of profit here, or 50% max profit, I should be taking this off, but I really like where this position is. A, because I've got no risk to the upside, but I've also got a profit. B, because the time decay and the theta, and actually not the theta, but the actual the vega in here and the gamma indicate that I can let this stock go up a point without any real big change to profit next week. So I could probably let it go to a Monday, and I'll get a little bit more theta out of it. And in Thinkorswim, you can graph your delta, gamma, theta. And so for the KRE down here, I've got an $85 move today, a total open or profit of $595. I've got a $5,600 profit on the year. So I've been successful with this trade all year. Contrast that with NVDA. I'm trying to come back from my biggest loss on the year is NVDA at $3,000. So I'm going to have to chip away at NVDA when it starts to fall. And, NVIDIA, I'm going to be coming for you. NVIDIA is probably going to be my best trade this year because it's going to fall eventually. So KRE, the theta is $76 in here, where the gamma, -1, and the delta is 10. So, and with a Jade Lizard, the delta numbers look a little different sometimes because, you don't want it to drop too fast, right? Because that tests your short strike, but you want it to drop to get that credit spread to get into the profit zone. So you're kind of like, it's kind of a weird trade to have on. You just have to let it sit. It's almost like a spread, right? You don't want to touch these, but what I will do if this, and I'll show you what I did in Wayfair really quick, and then we'll come back to the banks. So Wayfair, I've got the same thing going on, but what I did this morning was I took off that 28. I had a 28.5 put way down here, and I took that profit off, and I rolled that put up to the 32. And the beauty of doing that is I took profits on the short put. So that was 10 at 77 cents. So I took quite a big chunk of change, probably $300 profit out of Wayfair in just a couple days or week. And then I rolled that up and I just sold I sold 10 more at, I believe it was like 42 cents today. So if I look at my fills again, Wayfair, I sold 42 cents. I sold 10 of those. So now I'm back in this trade for another week here, but again, no risk to the upside. I'm loving the fact that I can withstand maybe this downside. I've got plenty of room to the downside with that 16 delta put that I put on. So I just rolled up my puts in here. Typically you wouldn't do that with a Jade Lizard, but that's how you would manage it. If it moves up too quick, roll up your puts. If it rolls down on you, then take your credit spread off, sell another call, and then create a strangle out of that, or an iron condor for people that are, if you've got limited buying power reduction, maybe you go into the iron condor land. But right now on the KRE, I'm loving this. The banks, if we just shoot over to the banks really quick, let's just take a look at what's going on. We've had big moves by JP Morgan, right? Look at that gap up. Citicorp, they're all up. All the big banks are up. Bank of America, right? XLF is up, above that 30 level, that $30, 20-year resistance level. So big banks are doing well, right? JB Diamond came out and said that, banks are doing good. They're not going to talk about how much loan losses they've had with respect to the interest rate sensitive part of their portfolio. They're not going to talk about it. And Jamin Diamond came out and said that the KRE, the regionals are probably not going to talk about it either. They're probably going to do okay in here. Nevertheless, the KRE is kind of retesting this trend line. And people know that now we're starting to worry about credit real estate, the commercial real estate market, where the commercial people that are renting commercial property or leasing are not going to be able to make their payments. So the bank is going to ultimately end up owning some of these commercial real estate office buildings. The housing market's doing okay, but the commercial real estate market is under a lot of pressure right now, and people are jumping up and down and screaming that we have a bigger crash than 2008. That we'll have yet to see. That could actually take a year or more to play out, but people are going to be looking at the commercial real estate market and how that impacts the regional. So I actually think you could see another leg down in the KRE, just simply because it can, it's already moved down, but it can go much lower, because unlike the XLF is made up of, Berkshire and some big names. It's kind of a fake. Don't even look at XLF. It's just big banks and mostly Berkshire and a couple other big banks, and not even worth looking at that index. It's not going to move. It's boring. It's not even investable, in my opinion. But the KRE, is so volatile, it's perfect for option traders. So that's where I got this Jade Lizard. I mean, the only risk really to the downside on the KRE is if you have a major bank collapse next week or the week after. Notice this is only a week out. So play your Jade Lizards keep them on a short leash. I probably don't go much more than 30 days on a Jade Lizard. Let's see what else we got going on here. So, and the other only good trades I got on, I want to manage today or might look at, is Intel. Intel's been good to me lately. I've got a big strangle on Intel out in May, so I'm happy with this. I've got plenty of theta decay going on here. I've got very small gamma. I've got a slightly negative delta. So Intel, loving where that is right now. I've got 20 contracts, both sides. Just expecting it not to do much over the next, 30 days out to 35 days out to May. So Intel, loving that trade. We talked about SPX. Boeing, I took some profits in Boeing today. Boeing, I had believe it or not, a Jade Lizard. I took it all off, made profits on that, and then I went and sold puts on Boeing, not even really understanding the news, just the fact that it looked to me like it was oversold. I put a limit order on. I did it twice today and got I averaged down, if you will. And so Boeing, I'm liking that trade. I sold it down. I sold the puts down here in the morning at about 10:30. So I'm liking that trade, even though there could be more bad news. I don't really care. Because I'm collecting, in here, $3.50, right, for what's my outlay on Boeing? A $3,800 outlay for a $350 move by May 19th. So I'm liking this trade in here. Just took advantage of that move down in Boeing that we had this morning. What else is going on? The retail trade. So XRT, the consumer's still strong, and there's going to be a lot of talk about the consumer. Right now, for next week, I've got a strangle on the XRT. It's almost, right in the middle here. I'm not doing much with it. I need some, positive delta in here. I've also got, took a flyer for the May 19th. I took a big wide butterfly thinking that if we get good news, we don't have the Fed until May. It looked like the market was trying to make that run for the 4,200 level. If that happens, I'm risking, $8 here to make maybe an average or halfway mark of 16. So I'm looking for an easy double on the XRT. And if it's not going to make it, no big deal. I've got very little, I got tons of time. It's very small theta, right? Decay. But also tons of time with respect of Vega, tons of time with respect to Gamma. I can decide later if I want to take that off. I got all the way down, to the 60 area to take this off without losing any profits. But I've also got the same 60 area in mind here for my strangle. So I like where the XRT is. Been typically bearish on the XRT all year. All through since January, and been up and down on it. So, but right now, kind of slightly delta bullish on XRT. Let's see what else. Home Depot got another. I've been playing a lot of Jade Lizards lately. So Home Depot, here's a Jade Lizard where we could almost maybe manage this. Right, the stock is up. Right, let's take a look really quick at the Home Depot. All right, Home Depot stock is moving up. What do I want to do? I've got this kind of like a hammer pattern candle in here. Don't know what's going on with it. Looks like it touched the 50-day and it just reversed. And Home Depot, probably will do okay in here. It's already kind of come down, as people are saying. It's already taken a lot of stuff on the chin. When it moved into this box, I thought it was done, but it moved even lower. It's actually not done as well as the home builders. If you listen to like Tim Seymour on Fast Money, they talk about Home Depot. Maybe it's coming back and retesting this. Maybe it wants to go higher, but all in all, I like this stock long term. It's a generational buy for me. This is an area where you'd want to be buying the stock right in here, but the time will tell. We're still looking for that earnings slowdown to happen this summer, so I'm just holding out to see where this thing's going to be. I think above the 200-day moving average, you definitely want to take a stab at it long term. But because we got a Jade Lizard on here, and I've got no risk to the upside, right? We can actually, consider taking this short put off the 233. It's 50% of profit. So again, guys, one thing you want to do when you're managing your winners is you don't want to be greedy. I just took that off. I took profits, right? Take your profits. Don't be greedy. Now I've got the spread in here I got to do something with, and I just sold a 265 put. So I've got to go out to May where I have a position, right? I just sold the 265, which is a 9 delta. So we can do better than that. I can bring this all the way up to a 17 delta, 80% chance. It's a little frothy, but you know what? If you're feeling that Home Depot is going to do okay and not going to, we're not going to have any big swoosh down in retail or even home building, housing right now. Obviously, we talked about the credit crisis in commercial, but I don't see Home Depot reporting anything negative, huge negative news. Also, take a look at earnings. Where's earnings going to be? We're out to 516 on this. So we got May 12th is before earnings. So before earnings, you're not going to see a ton of volatility increase. Well, you are going to see volatility increase, but it's going to collapse before earnings, right? You're not going across an earnings event. So is it a little bullish in here to play this up in here? Yeah, but let's take a look and let's just try to sell it at $2. Good till cancel. Hopefully we get it by the end of the day or on the Monday. So that's the Home Depot managing your winners. Exxon Mobil, I've got I think a loss on this one. Haven't talked about losses that much. I've had a good couple of weeks. Exxon Mobil, I've got to get out of this trade. It's doing nothing. It's next week. I don't know. I might leave it on. Let's take a look at what it's doing today. It's down 7 cents. energy's bucking the trend. Looks like energy's back to doing well again in style. Let's take a look really quick actually at your energy names. Do I have energy? Let's just take a look at the USO for a second. USO is bucking the trend above the 200-day, probably going higher. Let's look at the XLE. The XLE down today, but it looks like it's just testing this range in here. It's trying to break out of this, created a little flag pattern here. It's trying to go higher, but it's not really. So I'm going to wait until Monday on this guy. I'm going to see if Monday I can get kind of a sell-off. I'm okay with being bearish in here. I don't expect ExxonMobil to go anywhere soon. Earnings, you got to look at earnings. It's 428, so I've got another week of that. I'm going to leave it on because I don't have any right now. I probably should take it off, but I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to roll the dice on this trade. I to also take a look at my yearly numbers here. I'm down 451 on the name. I'm going to leave it on just for another day or two. So what else do we have that we want to clean up in our portfolio? Another one, I'm looking at retail on CMG, kind of going against me. I took a stab at a short credit spread a couple weeks ago, going against me, but I've got, and there I filled my puts on HD. So now we've got our Jade Lizard back on HD, and we rolled up some puts. But on the CMG, I got a $600 potential profit in here. I've got to watch this one closely. It's getting to the point where it's only a week away. Probably not ideal, but we'll see. I'm going to see where CMG ends up. Let's take a look really quick at it. So you're seeing a lot of insight, into how I trade. And I'm trying to give you guys a sense for how we close down trades and how we, look out. I didn't really show you how we look out further dated options. That's another thing we should be doing. If you follow, again, the Tasty Trade guys, you want to get out to 21. You want to shut things down under 15 days or under. I think they try to shut them down at 21 days. That's hard for me. I go to try to get them down to 10 days or 7 days. But sometimes I just can't help it. It's just something that I'm trying to manage better. So CMG, again, I'll probably just worry at this level here. This will be one of mine. This will be on the daily, game plan, saying if CMG breaks this top here, then shut it down. I'm not going to let it go. And actually CMG can move pretty violently, but I still am looking for this little kind of retest in here before going higher. So that's the plan. That's the game plan for CMG. I'm going to leave it. And then these are my losers, sorted by winner to loser. So Amazon, I also have a crazy trade. I'll just leave you guys with the last trade. Amazon, I've got a little crazy, show it to you right in here. Let's see, where's my other? Yeah, I got a couple. Let's see here. I've got two. So I've got a put butterfly for next week. And then I've got a call. I've got a call butterfly. Where is that one? It's the call. I got to show you the call ones. Is it this one? Here, let's shut all this down. Sorry, guys. But I got a couple trades on here from before that I've got to figure out where my butterfly is. So the call butterfly would be, I'm long 20 of these, I'm short 20 of these, and I'm long 20 of these. Nope. Oh well, I'm getting all flustered, so I gotta shut this down. But essentially, this is what I'm looking at for the Amazon trade. I decided to just go. I decided to take a stab at a here. Well, actually, it was in my Discord, but do I have it? Let me see if I can bring it up really quick. Options, opening trades. Where's my opening trades? Amazon. Here, this is a better look. This is what I did this morning. I'm sorry. So I just did a double. I had a couple trades on from last week, but this is the new trade for next week expiration. Looking at just a double butterfly, if you will. One's unbalanced, I think the other one isn't, but basically a call butterfly and a put butterfly. With Amazon being such an low IV rank, I was thinking that this thing down. Well, the IV rank isn't that low actually, but it's. I was thinking Amazon, is going to move either way, either direction. It's been pretty boring. So I'm hoping that Amazon can make up its mind. Which direction are you going to move? So with that, thank you guys for watching, and let's take a look at our NVDA one more time. See, it came off and just ended up just falling apart today. So NVIDIA we're going to be looking at next week. But thank you guys for coming. Please join the Discord. Leave me some comments. Leave me comments in the YouTube video. Let me know what you're trading. Let's do some options and actionable ideas. Tell me what you're trading. Throw some names at me. Let me know what tell me what you want to trade. I'll tell you, what the strategy would be that I would play, or tell me what you would play that I'm doing that maybe you see that I could do better at. So thanks again for joining, and have a great weekend, guys, and see you next week.